Hello, be right with you in a minute. Hope you have a good day out there. Yep, so far so good. I'm having a good day. Well, in this video, don't want to take much of your time here. I'm gonna split it down between two videos. Um, I made a video about interracial couples and why they should leave the United States. And I thought about, well, since you suggested it, maybe someone on these videos, shout out to this channel, I just discovered it. Name is Rome. So let's see what he got to say.
As long as it's... Did you know that over half of all Americans say they've dated someone from a different racial or ethnic background? And yet, in many parts of the world, interracial couples still face judgment, discrimination, and even legal barriers. But here's the good news. Not every country sees love through such narrow lenses. Some nations embrace diversity with open arms, making them dream destinations for couples who want to celebrate their union without fear. Welcome back to Rome and Romance, where the world is your matchmaker. Today, we're counting down 10 countries where interracial couples are not just accepted, but celebrated. Whether you're planning your next vacation, considering moving abroad, or simply curious about global attitudes toward love, this list will inspire you. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and stay tuned until the end, because these stories might just change how you see the world and yourself. Number 10. Let's kick things off with the Netherlands. Known for its tulips, windmills, and progressive policies, this small European nation consistently ranks as one of the most tolerant countries in the world. The Dutch legalized same-sex marriage in 2001, one of the first countries to do so, and their attitude toward interracial relationships mirrors this openness. Cities like Amsterdam and Rotterdam are cultural melting pots, where mixed couples often blend seamlessly into daily life. Here's a fun thought. Imagine biking alongside canals hand in hand with your partner while locals smile knowingly. It's probably admiration, not judgment. Pro tip. Learn some basic Dutch phrases like dank GWL, thank you. It's an easy way to win hearts faster than those springtime tulips bloom. Number 9. At number 9, we head to Canada, a land of breathtaking landscapes, maple syrup, and unmatched politeness. Canada officially adopted multiculturalism as a policy in 1971, recognizing the value...
Hold on, before we say Canada, what part of Canada is he talking about? Because from what I hear from some black Canadians, not so good.
...of diverse communities. This makes it a welcoming place for interracial couples, especially in cities like Toronto and Vancouver, which boast incredibly diverse populations. That said, challenges remain. Indigenous peoples continue to fight for justice, and systemic racism persists in certain areas. But overall, Canada's emphasis on equality creates a supportive environment for love across cultures. Picture this. You're sipping Tim Hortons coffee with your partner under the northern lights. Sounds magical, right? Just don't forget to bundle up. Canadian winters are no joke. Number 8. Next up, at number 8, we find ourselves in Sweden. Famous for its stunning fjords, minimalist design, and commitment to social welfare, Sweden champions equality in all forms, including relationships. Swedes rank among the happiest people globally, thanks in part to their focus on fairness and inclusivity. However, debates around immigration policies have sparked discussions about equality in recent years. Still, cities like Stockholm remain havens for diverse couples looking to build lives together. Fun fact, ever heard of fika? It's a Swedish tradition of enjoying coffee and pastries with loved ones. Imagine fika and G with your partner under the midnight sun. It's pure romance. One piece of advice. Layer up. Swedish winters are colder than your ex's texts. Number 7. At number 7, we jet off to Brazil, a vibrant South American nation pulsing with life. From samba rhythms to lush rainforests, Brazil's diverse population reflects centuries of blending indigenous, African, European, and Asian influences. Interracial relationships are common and widely accepted, mirroring the country's rich cultural heritage. But Brazil isn't without its struggles. Racial inequality remains a significant issue, despite outward appearances of harmony. Still, cities like Rio de Janeiro and Sao Paulo offer spaces where love transcends boundaries. Here's a lighthearted note. If you visit during Carnival, prepare for fireworks, both literal and metaphorical. Dancing the samba with your partner might just become your new favorite hobby. Just remember, sunscreen is your best friend in this tropical paradise. Number 6. Moving on to number 6, we land in Australia. With its golden beaches, rugged outback, and laid-back lifestyle, Australia is a hotspot for adventurers and romantics alike. Australians pride themselves on being friendly and inclusive, creating a welcoming atmosphere for interracial couples. Major cities like Sydney and Melbourne are cosmopolitan hubs teeming with diversity. Still, Australia grapples with issues like discrimination against indigenous communities and immigrants. Yet, the general attitude leans heavily toward acceptance and celebration of differences. Imagine strolling along Bondi Beach with your partner, catching waves and soaking up the sun. Doesn't that sound idyllic? Just watch out for jellyfish. They're less romantic than they sound. Number 5. At number 5, we head to New Zealand, a land of breathtaking landscapes, Maori traditions, and adventure-packed activities like bungee jumping and hobbit hole tours. Kiwis are known for their warm hospitality and progressive values, making it a welcoming place for interracial couples. The country has even elected leaders who champion diversity and inclusion, setting an example for the rest of the world. But New Zealand isn't perfect. It faces challenges with systemic inequality, particularly affecting its indigenous Maori population. Still, cities like Auckland and Wellington are thriving multicultural hubs where love knows no borders. Here's a quirky thought. Imagine hiking through the lush forests of Middle-earth with your partner, only to stop for a picnic surrounded by sheep. They outnumber people 6 to 1 here. Number 4. Coming.
Hey there, wanderers. Welcome back to Nomad Navigator, a channel where we explore the world and uncover the best places for you to call home. If you believe that love knows no boundaries and you're on a journey to find the perfect city for your interracial relationship, then you've just stumbled upon the ultimate destination. Today, we're diving into the vibrant and diverse world of the best cities for interracial couples to live in. So, grab your passports and an open heart because we're about to embark on an exciting adventure to find your ideal haven of love and acceptance. I'm your navigator on this thrilling quest. In a world as diverse as ours, finding a city that not only welcomes but celebrates interracial love can make all the difference in your journey. Whether you're planning a move, seeking a fresh start, or just curious about the most inclusive and diverse cities out there, this video is your ultimate guide. So, are you ready to discover the cities that have been a melting pot of cultures and a haven for lovebirds from all backgrounds? Stay tuned because we're about to unveil the top cities where love truly knows no colored lines. Let's get started. Toronto, Canada, a mosaic of cultures. Let's start our journey to the vibrant heart of Canada, Toronto. This city is not just a place on the map, it's a living, breathing mosaic where every tile tells a story of diversity and acceptance. In Toronto, over half of the residents were born outside of Canada, making it a true melting pot of cultures, religions, and ethnicities. Imagine walking down the streets of Toronto. You'll hear over 140 languages being spoken, smell the tantalizing aromas of global cuisine, and see a kaleidoscope of cultures blending seamlessly. Each neighborhood in Toronto, be it the historic Kensington Market, bustling Chinatown, or the colorful streets of Little Portugal, offers a unique cultural experience. For interracial couples, this diversity means living in a city where your relationship is not just accepted, but is part of the city's very fabric. But Toronto's appeal goes beyond just its cultural diversity. It's a city that actively promotes inclusivity and equality. From the annual Pride Parade, one of the largest in the world, to numerous cultural festivals celebrating everything from Diwali to the Caribbean Carnival, Toronto doesn't just tolerate diversity, it revels in it. For interracial couples, this environment means being part of a community that understands and embraces the beauty of different backgrounds coming together. It's a place where you can raise a family, build a career, and create a life knowing that the city is with you every step of the way. Amsterdam, Netherlands, embracing diversity with open arms. From the bustling streets of Toronto, we journey to the serene canals of Amsterdam. This city, known for its rich history and progressive values, stands as a testament to what a society can achieve when it embraces diversity with open arms. Amsterdam is a city where the old and new coexist, where traditional Dutch architecture is a backdrop to a modern, forward-thinking society. In Amsterdam, the air you breathe is infused with freedom and acceptance. It's a city that has long been a refuge for those seeking tolerance and acceptance. For interracial couples, this means living in a place that not only respects but celebrates their love. Here, you'll find an array of cultural institutions, from the Van Gogh Museum to the Anne Frank House, that tell stories of resilience and humanity, themes that resonate deeply with couples who have navigated the complexities of an interracial relationship. But Amsterdam's appeal is not just historical, it's vibrantly modern. The city is known for its cutting-edge approach to social issues, from environmental sustainability to human rights. This progressive mindset is evident in its community initiatives, inclusive policies, and vibrant cultural scene. Los Angeles, USA, a melting pot of dreams and love, leaving the charming canals of Amsterdam behind. Let's head to the sun-drenched streets of Los Angeles. This city, famous for its Hollywood glamour and sunny beaches, is also a melting pot where dreams and love stories are as diverse as its population. Los Angeles is a city of dreamers. In Los Angeles, every day is an opportunity to celebrate diversity. The city's neighborhoods, each with their own unique flavor, offer a world tour within a few miles. From the historic streets, London, United Kingdom, a global melting pot. Crossing the Atlantic, we land in the historic yet ever-evolving city of London. This metropolis isn't just the capital of the United Kingdom. It's a global melting pot where history and modernity intertwine, creating a tapestry rich in diversity and acceptance. London's charm isn't just in its iconic landmarks like the Big Ben or the London Eye, but in its streets humming with the languages and cultures of the world. Stroll through the streets of London and you'll experience a world in one city. Neighborhoods like Brixton, known for its Caribbean culture, or Brick Lane, famous for its Bangladeshi community, reflect the city's multicultural soul. For interracial couples, London offers an environment where multiple cultures not only coexist but flourish together. It's a city where your love story is part of the larger narrative of diversity and acceptance. In London, interracial couples find not just acceptance but a sense of belonging. The city's educational institutions and workplaces are beacons of diversity, offering opportunities and platforms for all. And let's not forget the rich artistic and culinary scenes. From world-class theaters and museums to an array of international cuisines, London is a city that tantalizes all senses. It's a place where love, culture, and history come together, creating a perfect backdrop for interracial couples to build their lives. Melbourne, Australia, a haven of cultural harmony. From the historical lanes of London, let's take a journey to the southern hemisphere, to Melbourne, Australia. Known for its vibrant art scene, lush parks, and dynamic multicultural communities, Melbourne is a city where cultural harmony isn't just an ideal, it's a way of life. Melbourne is celebrated for its quality of life, and it's not hard to see why. The city is a canvas of diverse neighborhoods, each with its unique character and charm. From the Italian vibes of Lygon Street to the authentic Vietnamese culture in Richmond, Melbourne is a feast for the culturally curious. For interracial couples, this diversity means a life where their heritage is part of the city's cultural wealth. Moreover, Melbourne's commitment to inclusivity extends to its policies and social initiatives. The city is known for its progressive stance on various social issues, creating an environment where interracial couples feel supported and valued. With its world-class education system, thriving job market, and a plethora of outdoor and cultural activities, Melbourne offers a lifestyle that's both enriching and welcoming. It's a city where love transcends cultural boundaries, making it an ideal home for couples from all around the globe.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead, but we can go from there and try this one.
First of all, shout out to Solo TV 84 and the podcast that we're going to do for the Snow Bunny Sundays coming tomorrow, in which we're going to discuss about the top 10 places for interracial dating for brothers. Yes, it's going to be a good one. Hold on to your seats, get your popcorn ready. But in the meantime, this video is going to relate to it in a way, but instead of talking about the exact cities where interracial dating is best for brothers in 2019, and you know what? Brothers from other mothers too. Latino, Asian dudes, Indian dudes, you all are included in this as well. This is definitely applicable for the most part towards anyone who's looking to date outside the race, because let's be honest, yeah, black men get it the worst when it comes to dating outside the race. But let's not delude ourselves thinking it's an easy path for most Latino, Asian, and especially Indian dudes. If you want to talk about one group of individuals who starters, your numbers are low. This definitely emphasizes on the exotic factor of someone who isn't in a particular city too much because, let's be honest, if you have a high amount of individuals in your city, particularly of your ethnic group, one, you're not as exotic to individuals, you're well known to the general population. And this can be either a good thing or a bad thing. But when it comes to minorities, I hate to say this, it usually works against us as minority men or for us, especially if the race that we belong to has an infamous stereotype. We aren't going to discuss those things, but if your numbers are super low or even moderately low, then you do become exotic by default. And this is definitely a factor when traveling overseas, which is one of the reasons why we emphasize to travel overseas, where you will become a commodity by default. Heck, you even have some guys out there who are borderline incels, who, if you put them in the right place, then they won't be talking about how much, oh, MGTOW there, I'm so MGTOW, I'm MGTOW, guys. I'm MGTOW, go MGTOW. I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna go there. But yeah, this is just all a numbers thing when it comes to being low as part of the population. Second, you're not part of the underclass. Now, this is a very important one, especially for minority men, especially black men, who, in the United States of America at least, tend to be seen or pushed as the underclass group. I mean, if you want any examples of this,
That's true.
look at what individuals are displayed on the 11 o'clock news or your local news website. That alone, depending on how many people and mugshots you see of particular individuals, will show you who is the underclass in your region. And no, I hate to say this, in most American cities, especially the more east you go, the more likely it is that if you're black, you are the underclass of that city. And as a result, you will have a much harder time of getting with women outside your race. This tends to be the truth as well the more southwest you go as a Latino American, I've noticed. If you're not part of that underclass, it could work towards your favor. I know this may sound politically incorrect to say, but if you're black, you may want to look at places where Latinos or other minorities are part of that underclass so that you won't get as much heat. Same thing if you're Latino. If you're having problems dating in, say, Bakersfield or Fresno or Phoenix, then you may want to look more east because, let's be honest, the more east you go, the more anti-black it gets. So I'm just stating that right now, even in 2019, looking at 2020, we're still seeing a bunch of Bebe's kids, Bookies and Ray Rays, and Shanae who want to hijack the image of all black Americans. And I don't see enough thinking black men and women trying to reverse that trend. But if you're not part of the underclass culture, it'll be a lot easier for you to date outside the race, mainly because you won't have to worry about being the face of criminality. Third characteristic of interracial friendly cities. Cities and region states where it isn't politically far left or far right. Now, most of America seems today to be either far to the left or far to the right. We have places where the cities are far left and the rest of the states far right. You want to look at the Midwest as a perfect example. I read a story about how a Chinese American was banned from being Miss Michigan because she used Islamophobic and anti-black statements, which you can question if they're Islamophobic or racist. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised because this is the individual who touts around wearing MAGA hat, talking about MAGA and all that kind of stuff. So chances are,
sound like you're giving his personal view and data. Yeah, The reason why I made this video was because I made a previous video how this country is against interracial relationship and they're trying to pass the law against it. So you are an interracial couple and you're very much in love. In the next couple of years, they're going to try to, Trump's administration is probably going to try to push something like this. Because you see what he's doing right now, with these other people. And even people, even though he's supposed to be getting the people who committed crimes from different parts of the world in this country, but he's getting rid of everybody. Even people who have who don't have a record. He just going to it. So that's what made me do this video. And like I mentioned that, hey, if you stay here in this country, there might be certain cities you can go to, or certain states you can go to, but for what it's looking like, it's probably good that if you can find a business or have international money to travel, you and your fiance, that's the best thing to do, because this country is going backwards. So this is one of the really one of the reasons why I made that. But I'm gonna show you in this video. Here's one video about the most racially diverse cities. Let's see.
We've done a list of the worst cities for blacks and the best cities for blacks. Today, we're going to talk about the most diverse cities in America. Diversity is an ever-growing trend in America. Of the 66 cities with a population of 300,000 or more, 70% of them were more racially diverse in 2018 than they were in 2010. That's according to the U.S. News and World Report analysis that came out last year. That list has the 10 most racially diverse cities in America. But because obviously this is called the 5, we're going to give you the top 5. Hi, my name is Jarrett, and welcome to the 5, where we share 5 interesting things in black culture and society in every episode. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell so you can get notified when we release new videos. Now this list is based on race, not other factors such as cultural, economical, or religious diversity. Go ahead and pause this video and see if you can name the top 5 most diverse cities in America. I guarantee that you won't be able to name the number 1 city. Alright, let's start with number 5, Long Beach, California. This mid-sized city by the coast is one of the most beautiful cities in Southern California. It is located in between Los Angeles and Orange County and has a population of 467,000. It is the 43rd most populated city in America and the 7th most populated in California. Long Beach is of course famous for its ties to West Coast hip-hop, but back in the 1950s, the city was predominantly white, and it actually was named Iowa by the Sea due to the slower pace of life there. In the 1950s, the city was 97% white. In 2020, it is estimated that the population is 45% white, 15% black, with 35% of the population identifying as Hispanic of any race. Asians make up 12% of the population, 1.2% are Pacific Islanders, and 0.8% Native American. The Asian community includes the largest Cambodian community in the United States and the 2nd largest Cambodian community outside of Asia. The black population in Long Beach grew after industrial jobs were made available to the community during World War II. This is part of the 2nd Great Migration of African American from the South to the North and the West. There are black communities in the East Side, North Long Beach, and Upper West Side neighborhoods. Number 4, what I probably would have named as the number 1, New York City. It is no surprise that the Big Apple made it to the list because it has been a center of diversity for a long time. Out of the population of 8.4 million, 33% are non-Hispanic white, 23% are non-Hispanic black, and 13% are Asian. 29% of the population identifies as either Hispanic or Latino regardless of race. Native Americans and Pacific Islanders make up 0.6% of the population. Approximately 37% of New York City's population is foreign-born. The biggest source countries for black immigrants include Jamaica, Haiti, Nigeria, and Trinidad and Tobago. For the first time since the U.S. Civil War, the black population declined between the years of 2000 and 2010. New York City also contains the highest total Asian population of any U.S. city. New York's racial diversity has been one of the most attractive aspects of the city. However, it is also segregated as different races reside in different parts of the city. According to the Center for Urban Research, out of almost 29,500 census blocks in the city with residents, 85% of them had the same predominant racial or ethnic population. Number 3, the capital of California, Sacramento. Sacramento is the capital city of California and has a population of 508,000. Sacramento is the fastest growing major city in California. Believe it or not, Sacramento is actually considered a city with an evolving contemporary culture and is even dubbed the most hipster city in the state. The population in Sacramento is about 35% non-Hispanic white, 15% non-Hispanic black, 22% Asian, and almost 3% Native American and Pacific Islander. Hispanics or Latinos of any race make up about 29% of the population. Even back in 2002, the Civil Rights Project at Harvard University conducted Time magazine named Sacramento America's most diverse city. What makes Sacramento even more appealing is that the city is also one of the most well-integrated cities in America. Sacramento actively addressed segregated neighborhoods by introducing an inclusionary housing policy. The city passed the Mixed Income Housing Ordinance in 2000 that applied to all resident developments over 9 units in new growth areas. The new law required that 15% of all units be affordable housing. This was an effort to fight racial and economic segregation by allowing mid to low income families to purchase homes in multiple areas that would have been out of reach to them. Number 2, Oakland, California. Oakland is another diverse city in California that sometimes gets overshadowed by neighboring San Francisco, but it also has its own flavor and history. After the 1906 San Francisco earthquake, many San Francisco residents moved to Oakland, which helped grow the population. Today, the Port of Oakland is the busiest port in the entirety of Northern California and the 5th busiest in America. The city of Oakland has a population of around 430,000. Out of which 42% are white, 28% are black, 18% are Asian, and 26% are Hispanic or Latino. Native Americans and Pacific Islanders make up about 2% of the population. Hispanics have been the second largest ethnic group in Oakland since 2002. Before then, the black population was in second place. The black population, however, remains the second largest racial group in the city. Of course, everyone knows Oakland is another city made famous through West Coast hip-hop. And at the number 1 spot out of all the U.S. cities, we have Stockton, California. I bet you didn't get that one. Stockton is a city located in the Central Valley of California. It is the smallest city on our list with a population of about 311,000, but also the most diverse. It was named an All-American City in 1999, 2004, 2015, and again in 2017. The racial makeup of the city is 49% white, 23% Asian, 13% black, and 42% Hispanic or Latino of any race. Native American and Pacific Islanders make up around 1.2% of the population. Unfortunately, several social economic problems have landed Stockton on various negative lists, including our list of the worst cities in the West Coast for blacks. But the city has also been in the center of various rehabilitation efforts to lift a good portion of the residents out of poverty. Now, I'm sure there are other cities that you thought would have made it into this list. I'm surprised that there were so many in California. Let me know the ones you thought about in the
Yeah, I was kind of surprised too about California. He wasn't the only one surprised. But it, either way, I think that's one of the places that you can start off with. Um, if you choose to live in the United States, New York, if you're interracial couple, certain parts of California, um, Florida. I guess it all depends on where you go. Texas. It all depends on where you go. You know, people from Texas can tell you. Probably more like Dallas. Probably would be more okay. That's my guess. That I don't know. I'm just if I would think about. I'm thinking about the states. Um, Ohio. Well, it depends on what part of Ohio you live in here. Like here in Columbus is all right. You know, states like Minnesota, yeah. But other than that, I don't know about the other states. Like the guy said, from the East Coast, far out to the East Coast. Certain places I wouldn't take a chance on being an interracial couple. Certain places on the West Coast I wouldn't be chance on being an interracial couple. It's just the history and stuff, and then it'd be a very secluded area. But that's why I suggested try um, overseas. Might one of the places over another country could solve that problem. So shout out to these people for bringing this information out, and I hope this whoever your better half is, that this would be your suggestion and for you to raise if you have a family. And that I would think that would probably be one of the good places to go, because you can go to some black areas, but you know you're gonna get it from the black area, you're gonna get it from the white area. So it's good to stay in a mixed area, because you go into a black area, black folks is gonna be like, you got some white people, well, they're gonna respond differently. So as what I would just think, just go to another country, get a business online. If you got, save up your income, because this country is sliding backwards towards that. And if you can move, if you don't want to go right up to Canada, I'm surprised. And I guess if you're in LGBTQ, they're up there, so they got a whole area for them up there for those people who are LGBTQ. They could be into LGBTQ interracial couples. I mean, this could go either way, but Canada's is more it's more liberated when it comes to stuff like this, interracial couples, same-sex couples. So you might want to. I mean, that's just a suggestion, but in certain places in America, you can fight it, but you're gonna get more resistance towards it. So that would be one of the ideas. And it's kind of funny you mentioned California, because I don't know if I told you guys one time I was dating this young lady back in the early 2000s. This is about 20-some years ago. And her grandma, well, they lived in Cincinnati, but they originally was from Corbin, Kentucky. And the situation was so bad in Corbin, Kentucky, because her grandmother's, either her sister or friend, had a daughter, and her husband, it's her husband at the time, were black. And they got harassed so bad in that part of Kentucky at that time. They told me this, that they had to they left the state of Kentucky and went all the way to California. So that's just something that somebody would go from Kentucky to California, because it was really bad in that part of the area, messing around with another black people, black and white, even though right now it's probably, it is, I don't know if it's up to speed. From what I've talked to some white people that live in that part of Kentucky, they still say that it's still bad down there. This is about 8, 9, 10 years ago. And so, and then, maybe certain places in Kentucky, but I just, it depends on where you go in Kentucky. Like here in Ohio, it's an iffy place. If you can't afford to go that, leave the country, whatever. But if you can, don't go into. I always say this: don't go into the predominantly white areas because you might think that they're welcoming, but if it's not a diverse people where all cultures and vibe, 9 chances out of 10 they're gonna be kind of racist, or they're gonna put on the face. And if they might not say nothing to you, they might say something to your child. And you've got children that between you two, who's mixed, biracial. I don't know what the term is to call it now. That kid gonna get the brunt of it. Trust me. And so you don't want to live in some. My suggestion is don't live in them areas like that because they're gonna traumatize him or her, and they're gonna make him pick a side of what side is looked down upon on the other. And some people, when you get particularly around some white people, and this is from what I know from experience. So if you live, my suggestion is you live in an area where it's mixed, you won't have. They're not saying that you want to counter it, but you have some backup. And you have somebody, your kids will have some backup, someone who will stand for them, because if they're out there by themselves maybe some black people would receive you. I think it would be more, leave a little bit more. It depends on some black people. Then they take you more than some white people will. That's the truth. Even though some black people can be just as prejudiced about that as some white people. And there's there's a woman that I know. She's Hispanic. She's oh, excuse me. Her husband's black. She works out this housing agency, and she told me that, like here in Ohio, well, it's north of Columbus, where when her and her husband go out, one time she really went off the rails about this. They went to go sit down in a restaurant, because I've been to this little town up north. The waitress, they blankly ignored them. It was one of those kind of situations, so they ignored. And they saw that they were a couple, and they just, she practically, let the lady know that wasn't too cool. And then she said, I never seen so much prejudice, and she's from Texas, and her and her husband from Texas, so she moved up here to Ohio because her job, she works around homeless people and people who are, deal with, Section 8 and other housing. And this is what she told me. So, and this is, and I was I wasn't surprised, but I would figure, well, Delaware is kind of next to Columbus. It's like, you're going to see a good mixture of people. But apparently, the part of Delaware, Ohio, where she was at, it was, the people haven't adjusted to reality. Even though that there's a school out there, a little college out there, but they still haven't adjusted to reality about especially other couples and mixing together. So she was upset about that. She was ready to leave Ohio. And I said, so come back towards Columbus. Come back. You won't get it so bad. Now, with my friend and John live in Toledo, I was really shocked. Toledo, Ohio, have a lot of interracial couples up there. I was really torn about it. He showed me. He said that, and that's, that's where the G Factory is at. But years ago, you would never think Toledo was like that. Because we go there when we were young. But he told me that the black women are really into the white men up there. It's just what it is. And there's black men are into other women up there. So, it's Toledo, but it ain't much going on for itself. But that's what he told me. But he's like, overall, he says it's kind of friendly. So he think it's kind of funny, but this thing is kind of dead to me up there. You know, I mean, they have some good points, but it's just Toledo. I mean, it's just another typical city in Ohio. But someplace like Pennsylvania, definitely not West Virginia. I wouldn't. West Virginia, no. To be an interracial couple, no, no. You gotta watch what town you go over to in West Virginia. No, no. But certain parts of Pennsylvania, it's kind of iffy too. Indiana, that's the state where this representative was trying to pass that they want to do with interracial marriages. So that way, so that's what I always. I don't want to go too far with it, but I just want that's just that was just my suggestion from experiences and from what people told me. Just be careful if you're gonna be here, what cities to go to, and be careful your rural areas. Towns. Whatever. It's good to get. It's almost like you have a green book, like where not to go, so you won't come across some Klan activity or some white nationalists. Some town that is some bigot sheriff somewhere. So that's why I made this video, just so you can take it for the grain of salt, because there's some idiots out there, and you've heard stories about a white female that had her boyfriend. She got pulled over by the cop, and the cop thought that her husband was kidnapping her or some stuff like that. That's what I'm saying. Why would you want to? In America, unfortunately, it's like that here. So I always just say, why? That's what I said. And then you have, which is kind of stupid for them to use that topic about doing something where two consenting adults agree to marry one another of a different race. It's not going to slow down the population. Then they act like it's going to be this vast population of white people going to marry everything outside the race. It's not going to happen. It's still going to have a high concentration of white people, like black people and other people. Most people still, like I said to this day, if I forgot to mention, prefer to stick to their own race. It's only a very few people that marry outside the race, but it's just these people who want to pass this law. That's what they're afraid of. That's one reason why they want to put in the law. And it's like, wait a minute, that's just a small percentage of interracial couples. It's not. You still are 80-90% white across the countries in different towns and counties, and you still 50% black and like 65 or 50% for Latino, which depends on what part of the country you live in. Asians the same. Most Asians stick with Asians in America. Majority of people stick with each other. South Asians, Middle Eastern, people from Arab countries and stuff, they all stick together. Africans, they stick together. Well, what is the big deal with this stuff? But it's the insecurity of people, particularly in America, and they're trying to make it into their ideal of America, which is they trying to make it like Europe, because have a separatist mindset, but it look like it's coming in our government. You look over Europe, that's what they try to do. That's why you look over them foreign channels. They got the separatist parties against immigration and stuff like that. That's the far right wingers. It's the same book that they do over here. They try to bring that mindset here because they're scared they're gonna be outnumbered. That's the truth. And so I don't want to go too long. I'm sorry to go this long then. Alright then, guys. Hope you enjoy, like, and subscribe to the next time. And hey, hope you enjoyed the information. Take care. Be blessed.